All right, what is up guys? Coach D here. I wanted to fill you in on the force velocity curve, as this is something that we are using with our athletes to prescribe their training, to track their training over time, and to help athletes perform at a higher level. I wanted to make this video to help you guys understand what we're trying to do, specifically in our community and the parents of athletes that are coming in here, but also for coaches and other athletes out there that take our content in. So you'll see on this curve, you've got force, and you've got velocity on a standard table, so you guys can see kind of the relationship between that. So at the top we have max strength, so that's going to be the most force, the least amount of velocity, strength speed, power, speed strength, and speed. And the way we use this or track this is we use Output Sports, which is straps that we put on bars, and they measure the speed of the bar and a bunch of other things, but that's mainly what we're using it for relating to this. Okay, so we're seeing how fast the athletes can move the bar and create power or speed. So what I want you guys to realize is there's a bunch of different categories here, and a lot of times what we see in training is athletes are spending too much time, and it's usually on one thing, and that's max strength. So when you hear kids talking about their 1-rep maxes, powerlifting, you see athletes continually maxing out, lifting as heavy as possible. This is a great function for athleticism, but there are 4 other categories here that athletes can be missing out on. And what we have found is our athletes that are performing the highest are very capable in the power section as well as the speed section. We use speed strength numbers and strength speed numbers to help drive some of these adaptations. Now, what I will say is when we get a younger athlete, a middle school athlete, typically they're lacking in the max strength area, right? So they can't produce very much force. So that bucket does need to be filled. But as we get older athletes that are well developed, have been lifting for 3 or 4 years, they're juniors and seniors in high schools, they're high performers on their teams, typically they're actually pretty good here in the max strength. And one of the problems is that's all they're focusing on in the weight room. They're working on max strength. They're not getting a lot of strength speed, they're not getting a lot of power, and they're not developing this speed strength that's going to carry over their total speed. So we spend a lot of time in our accessories and prep on low-level plyometrics and movements that are going to develop speed. And then when we lift, we'll do some speed strength days and some strength speed days, and we'll track those. And we'll see what the bar speed is. And there's whole categories that fall into meters per second into each of these categories. And that's how we program our weights. So when an athlete comes in, we give them a number they need to hit on the bar. And depending on how they're feeling that day, they're able to load up the bar to the point where they're hitting the speeds that we're asking. We lower the weight. If they're moving fast that day, we add some weight. But this allows our athletes to make adaptations in the strength speed section and the speed strength, as well as overall create a more powerful athlete. Again, what we have found is the athletes that are dominating on the field, again, aren't necessarily just weight room warriors, right? So their 1-rep max really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's how are they performing on the field. And our powerful and fast athletes are the athletes that shine when it comes to their performance, okay? So I just want you guys to realize max strength is important to a degree, but if that's all you're focused on, you are missing a whole spectrum of movement development and power development, and you are not going to get your best performances or get to the highest level as you could have possibly made. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up, let me know. We can go deeper on this topic. Plan on putting a podcast out soon. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch.